You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
You know why, you saw. For those I have lost, for those I can yet save, because I choose to. For those I have lost, and for those I can yet save. I'll say it once, I'll say it again.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Well, the butcher's blood, I guess. Sorry about that. I let my emotions get the better of me. It's just that she and I are of an age and we're neither of us one thing or another. I can't help but feel like she's my problem to solve. The capacity to experience such visions of the past has always seemed to me to be a most desirable talent, but I see now that it is much a burden as a blessing. Echoes of an echo. Lisa's lost in thought. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. And I've found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Alex, but the visions only come to me every now and then. From the way Fordola kept wincing though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Well, the immortal flames have been scouring the research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they might have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go and pay him a visit, shall we? That makes me wonder about what her fate in the end is going to be. I have a feeling that she's going to do something sacrificial and heroic. That's my guess, but I suppose only time shall tell. General Alden's inside, eh? Will you be joining him? Yep. Ooh. Let's get rid of you. I didn't expect this. It does give us a little bit of context on where this actually was, though. Ah, the R body bags. Ooh, that's a lot of body bags. Quite a lot. Seeing this facility, I'm reminded of what they did to Cryle. We received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Interesting. Come on, let's talk to Ralban.
What news? You spoke with Fortola, I take it.
Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much. But it wasn't a total waste of time. Arnvold noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her?
Huh. We've been hard pressed just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the science expert assistance, if you have the time to lend a hand.
Gather information. This was her pod, if I recall. The device at which Cryle was held seems even more ominous now you know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the ether of the occupant, save the one right there. Unlike the others, the interior has been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Leave this section to me. Okie dokie. I see something over there, and I see a person. These bastards would fiddle with a man's very soul if it served the purpose. Nothing sacred to them, nothing. What did I see over here? Fallen scrap parchment. Idle conversations prohibited. Eating and drinking prohibited. The fallen scrap parchment appears to list facility regulations, but nothing of interest. Alright, that's a weird thing to be interactable with, but okay.
So many bodies. Every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show signs of external entry. From what we've been able to determine, they perished from forcible ether extraction. Ugh, such a miserable way to die. I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations will be much appreciated. Alex, shall we start with you?
Oh, sad music. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Cryle and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with ether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case Cryle, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryle's echo? I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryle is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at the door night and day. If she can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past. But you don't just see the past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what that'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Izel was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Hresvalga's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed.
Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the result of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these god-forsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish, not yet.
Right.
Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's feigned.
I understand. Thank you, General. We should lead the flames to it. Let's go. The forcible extraction of ether from a living subject is invariably fatal. How many died that Fordola might gain her new abilities? I've never known why I was given the echo, but this makes me want to put it to good use. I go looking for answers about the echo and end up being schooled by Rauban. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know that I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realise how much we rely on his authority, and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything's settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they built in Uldar, or start again in the land of their birth. Alexander! A moment! I'm newly returned from Uldar with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. I can do that. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. An audience with the Sultana? Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, We'd all like to know about those, Alfino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Alex. Ba 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 ba. In case you're wondering, I'm not planning on staying in Alamigo. Too many bad memories. And besides, I like my new life. I know I could learn so much from Reborn if he decided to stay, but it's his choice, and I'm not about to try and persuade him. Well, Dar needs him too. The Sultana's strings. There's actually things I could use, though you only get one. We'll see. Avino's thoughts appear to have turned from adventure to administration. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasure to good use shows no signs of answering itself. Shall we be about it, how involved? I'm at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organise a squad to head down into the ruins, and then start preparing the big meeting. Oh, send Dynamo my regards, Alex. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you on your return. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Speak to Bartholomew in Uldar. I'm guessing that's going to be on the... What is it? The steps of the Royal, or... What's it called? The Chamber of Rule. No steps involved at all. Oh, the steps of Thal. The Chamber of Royal. Close enough. Have I went the long way again? No, this appears to be a short... Well, I think it's exactly the same. So ignore me. You are expected, my lord. Please proceed.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy.
Well, I try.
The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel. I speak of Rauban and his future. All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Uldar home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Rauban chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears. Might I have your company for a brief adventure?
Why not?
Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Okay, see you in a minute. Will we be getting joined by Lilira? I have a feeling she's changing into our Lilira costume again. I say costume. Where am I going? The quicksand. So, yeah. Yep. Yep, Lilira. Perchance you remember Lilira, the merchant's daughter. This is the persona I assume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me, but for this particular outing, I need not an advisor. I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Now, let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the gates of Nald. See, I've got a good memory, even though it's been a very, very long time since that happened. Like, years. In game, I don't know how long it's been. Like, a week? But for me, it's been a very, very long time. Oh, look, there's a brand new person. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor, at the mercy of the elements and Thanalan's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is, and unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Uldar. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the calamity. Yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. You've done your best, Your Grace. Your hands have been tied, Your Grace. Well, she has tried her best. Best? Then my best has not been good enough. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. Oh, that's quite a ways away. Rough. Nope, can't go under there. Wondered if you could. Question was answered. It's eerily quiet with the sandstorm blowing. Like no music at all, just rustling wind. And splishy splashes. Blip, 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 blip. It was here, in this wholly unremarkable place, that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interest in Eastern Thanalan when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simply misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Ralban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. There's the music. If my parents' deaths were orchestrated by monetarists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of the citizens, quite unaware of the consequences of my actions would quite unaware of the consequences my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price for my naivety. But I am no longer a child reciting words of witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn for the monetarists' damnable games. Forgive me for my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Uldar and visit the Colosseum.
I just realised this story would be very different. Well, not very different, it would be a little different. But to me, it's very different if you didn't start in Uldar, because you wouldn't know about Lilira and everything that happened.